And when I say this, don't click out. But people do not care about you. It's harsh, I know, but just, give me a second to explain. Hi, today we're going to be talking about the 16 harsh realities of being a blogger and starting your blog. And today we're going to get really raw and uncut and down to the nitty-gritty. So let's get right into it. Number 1 on the list is you will be taking on multiple roles and you will need to learn new skills. And as a new blogger, this is one thing that I didn't realize and I learned really quick. And you will need to take on multiple roles, especially if you don't have a company or a business beforehand or an organization behind you and it's just you by yourself. You will need to wear multiple hats. You will need to be not only a writer and editor, but you will also need to be proficient in SEO, content marketing, social media strategy, learning social media algorithms, and things like that. And let me tell you, when I say you will not view social media the same when you become a blogger, because you're really getting behind the scenes and really getting in the back of the house when it comes to social media and learning the algorithms. So you will see and learn a whole new side of social media. And don't get me wrong, I mean, learning all these new skills can definitely be overwhelming. However, for me personally, it has been one of the best challenges and has pushed me beyond my limits. And it's really made me gain confidence in myself, and it lets me know, it taught me that I can, I can push myself to learn new things and that I can actually be good at certain things and step outside of my comfort zone and challenge myself. So there are so many pros to learning new skills when you're starting a blog, and wearing multiple hats and really learning all avenues of what it takes to start a blog is going to be one of those things that you can't avoid and you will have to know, and it will only make you better and improve your skill levels and you as a person. So just keep that in mind. I know it seems scary, trust me, I do, but it's all for the better. And once you get further into your blogging journey and you start to hire actual people, and once your blog starts to become a business, you can actually outsource a lot of these things and really get actual experts and take some of the weight off your shoulders. So once you get the resources and the monetary gains to do so, I highly recommend that too, because you are going to need to just focus and really work within your zone of genius. And if you're trying to do everything at once, you're not really going to be able to give some certain things your all and the best of you. So that is one con. However, if you're just starting out, this is just the way it is, and it's the way it's going to be, so you have to get used to it. So on to my next harsh reality, which is number 2, and that is, as a blogger, especially a new blogger, you don't know when you'll succeed. And you will find yourself comparing your success to other bloggers, which is dangerous and you shouldn't do this. However, it's only human instinct. And let's say you see somebody who started a little bit after you and they are gaining success and they're making money and steady income from their blog. That will force you to take a look at your blog and really think, what am I doing that they're not doing, or how did they get there before me? Which are good questions to ask if you want to improve your blog. However, it's important to know that not everybody's journey is the same and not everyone's timeline is the same. And it may take you 3 months, it may take you 6 months, it may take you a year, it may take you 2 years, it may even take you 3 years or more. So it's really important to really be realistic and know that there's no telling when your blog is going to succeed. It could be that one article that you wrote that you didn't really think was a great article and people really love and share, and that is how you find success with your blog. You just don't know. So you just gotta hang in there and keep pushing and be persistent. Number 3 on the list is hearing other people's opinions, especially if you have a regular 9 to 5 and you tell people, hey, like, I'm gonna like try to create like a website or a blog, you know, to make, you know, money on the side, or just to start a whole business. You will get 1 out of the 2 responses. And one of those responses is really positive and supportive, and people are like, oh yeah, like, that's so cool, like, what's your website name? I'll check it out. Like, yeah, that's awesome. And you will have supportive, positive people in your corner. However, on the other hand, you will also find that with the good comes the bad, and you will find people that are very condescending and will kind of be like, oh yeah, really? You're gonna start a blog? Like, okay, let me know how that goes. Like, sure, you're gonna be a content creator? Like, okay. And unfortunately, those are the responses that are gonna stick with you more than the positive, supportive people. However, you just have to, you know, let the haters hate and push the naysayers aside and, you know, block them out and really focus on the people who are being supportive and positive and who are there for you. Because at the end of the day, you got to do what makes you happy and do what feels right, and it's not the same for everyone. So just realize that when you tell some people, they are just not going to be supportive, and you just gotta look through that and really get past that as well. So number 4 on the list of harsh realities of becoming a vlogger is there is going to be a point in time where you will get discouraged. And this could be for any reason, whether you just feel like, you know, you don't have the skills to do this, or maybe you're just overwhelmed, or you see other people gaining success and you're not, and it can be really frustrating. And just know, at some point you will be discouraged, and that's completely normal. It's not out of the norm, and it's not out of the blue or anything like that. I've been there. The successful bloggers that you've seen that are making 100K like a month or more have been there. You will be there. And it's important that when you do find yourself really feeling this and in this position, that you remain persistent and resilient, and you're able to get back up and dust yourself off after you fail. And there was a quote that I believe is by Steve Jobs. I'm not 100% sure. You can comment down below if it's not Steve Jobs and tell me who it is. But there was a quote by Steve Jobs that says he's sure that what sets successful entrepreneurs apart from unsuccessful entrepreneurs is pure persistence and resilience. And he cannot be more right if you really think about it. Because, you know, when you start something, especially as challenging as a blog, you can't just be someone who, once you run into one small obstacle, give up. Because if that's going to be you, you're never going to make it. And the bloggers that are making 100K, 50K, 10K a month, or even the small bloggers, are the people who have been knocked down multiple times, like I said, but they have found ways to get back up and keep going and really be resilient and push through it. And that is truly what sets successful people apart from unsuccessful people. And it's just the reality of it all. And it's okay once you get knocked down or you feel discouraged to really take a step back and really take a breather. But once you're done feeling sorry for yourself, and once you're done doing that, you gotta get right back to it and find out what you did wrong so you can do it right and do it better. So that, I know it sounds really intense, but that's just, like I said, this is called harsh realities. And that's just how it is. And you have to realize that on this journey, you will face those things and those feelings. You just have to find ways to get past them. So, number 5 on the list is you will be giving away your time for free. And when I say this, I mean pretty much when you're just starting out and you're a new blogger, you won't be making any income unless you have a business that was already up and started before this and you're just using the blog to get more exposure and traffic. But however, if you're just starting from ground zero and you are new and you have no skin in the game, you will be giving away your time for free. And that's just gonna be the reality of it as well. And pretty much all bloggers start here, and it's not just you. And if you really want to see results in the future and if you want to really see success, you know, putting in time with any business, actually with any business, putting in time and not seeing anything upfront is completely normal. And the time that you put in upfront and the energy that you spend upfront is going to pay off in the long run. And it's really important to keep this in mind, because a lot of people see bloggers who make, you know, 100K, 10K, 8K a month, and they think it's easy, and it's not. And it's going to take a while for you to build up and get to that level. So just keep that in mind. So number 6 on the list is another harsh reality. And when I say this, don't click out. But people do not care about you. If you're a blogger who is just starting out, people don't care. And it's harsh, I know, but just, you know, give me a second to explain. Don't click out, just listen. When you're first starting out, pretty much you should be focusing on writing content for people, and for people who are looking for something specific. And the people who are looking for something specific don't really care about who's creating the content, if you really think about it. If you really think about it for yourself, when you go on Google and you search questions and you click on articles to read, most people don't really take time to think about, I wonder who wrote this article. I wonder who's the person behind the keyboard. Like, oh, I wonder what their life story is. People don't take time to think like that, and that's just the truth, you know what I mean? It's going to be the same for you when you start out, especially. People are just going to want to have answers to their questions, and they are going to want someone to solve their problems quickly, because a lot of people don't have patience to really think about, like, I wonder who this person is. But as your blog gets bigger and you get more traffic and you really start to turn your blog into some type of brand or business, people will start to wonder about you and who the person is behind the keyboard. And before this happens, I really suggest for you to just take in and really, you know, cherish the moments where nobody really cares who you are, because it's going to be easier and you will feel less pressure. So once people start to get to know who you are, you're pretty much building a brand, and you become a face of a company and a business and a brand. So it's just comes with a lot more work and a lot more pressure. However, you know, if you're watching this video, that's hopefully where you want to be. So people aren't going to care when you first start out. However, once you build your audience and really, you know, build relationships with people and rapport and genuine interest in your audience, then people will start to care about you and what else you have to offer. So just keep that in mind. Number 7 on the list is quality is just as important as quantity. And I know if you are researching becoming a blogger, or if you are just curious and you're watching this video and you watched other videos, people are going to tell you, you know, producing content as much as you can is one of the ways that you're going to find success. And the more you post and write articles, the faster you will find this success. And I'm not saying that's not true, because it is. However, when you're banging out articles and you're like rushing through, especially if you are producing a lot each week, you can really start to produce work that isn't proficient, or that is very mediocre. And because you're focusing on just the quantity and not the quality, and you get sidetracked. And it's really important to know that quality is just as equal and just as important as quality, because you want to make sure that your readers are getting everything they can out of your articles they read, and you are really solving their problems and giving them what they need. And if you aren't doing that because your quality is lacking, it doesn't matter how much pieces of content or articles you're producing, because it won't get you anywhere without the quality. And that's just another reality. If your content sucks, then you're not gonna see success, and you really have to focus on producing quality and quantity as well. So just keep that in mind for future reference. Number 8 on the list is, unfortunately, if you want to start a blog and you want to make your blog a business and take this seriously, you will have to invest money. And that is just the reality of it. Especially if you want your blog and your website to be credible, you're going to need a web host, and you will need to spend money on a web host. And that's just one thing you can't avoid spending money on. And don't get me wrong, there are amazing, resources and tools out there that are amazing, and you won't have to pay money for. And I highly suggest you use those, because if you can save money, then I'm all for it. That's amazing. However, you can't have that mindset going in, because you will need to invest in order to see growth in your business. If you're not investing something, then what's the point, and what are you going to see in the future if you're not investing and if you're not taking this serious? You know what I mean? So just keep that in mind. And starting a blog is not like starting a blog is the most expensive thing out there, because it's not. Starting a blog is relatively cheap compared to starting other businesses. So just keep that in mind. And when I started my blog, I want to say I spent about $300, give or take, but that included like WEBHOST, the stock photo site, graphic design tool, things like that, legal pages, things that I needed. So those are just some things that you can't really skimp out on or get for free, and you have to invest in for your website and your blog. So just keep that in mind. So next on the list is ranking, and getting your website or blog to rank on search engines is hard. And this is one of the things that I was surprised about when I first started my blog, because when you search Google and you're looking for, answers to your questions, you just don't really think about how people rank on Google search engines. And I didn't even know what the ranking system was, or, the algorithm or anything like that for Google. SEO is not easy to learn, and it takes time and patience to really master SEO and to rank on search engines. It's never a bad thing to really learn those skills that I mentioned before, because if you learn those skills, that will make you even more qualified and know the ins and outs of your business. And that's never a bad thing, to be very knowledgeable so you can help other people. Because if you don't know these things about blogging and you try to help other people with their blog, when it comes to like ranking on search engines and how to start a blog and stuff like that, you're not going to be very helpful to those people, and you're not going to be, you're not going to be giving them valuable information that they need in the future. So just keep that in mind. You want to be a valuable blog and a website that, adds gives value to their viewers, so they keep coming back for more. But anyway, I know I kind of went on left field there, but yeah, ranking on search engines isn't easy, and it takes time and patience. However, once you start to like learn and master the skill, the easier it will become. However, you know, to rank on Google takes about 3 to 6 months for your first article to rank, and sometimes longer. So just keep that in mind. My next point is, as a new blogger, you know, another harsh reality is, I mean, you are learning a lot, but you can't just go in all gung-ho and, you know, without a plan really. And this is why being strategic and intentional is very important as a new blogger. And if you're not, then there's a possibility you won't really find success. And if you do, it will take you longer if you're not being strategic and intentional. And when I say be strategic, I mean, you really have to, some of it's a numbers game, and some of it's actually the value that you provide, and some of it is luck, and there's so many things mixed into becoming a successful blogger. And you really have to focus on the things you can control. For example, the numbers and the value you add. You can be valuable if you go into a niche or something that you are really knowledgeable in and that can really help people. That's being strategic and intentional. And when it comes to numbers, setting up your website on Google Analytics and Google Search Console to measure your CTR, your impressions, which posts and articles are ranking on Google, and things like that. Being strategic with keeping track of stuff like that, and comparing your numbers of your blog to another blog, and really researching what other blogs are doing to help them succeed. You know, things like that are being strategic and being intentional. You really have to treat this like a business, and that's how businesses are, that they are strategic and intentional with pretty much every move they make. They think about the future. I know shifting to this mindset, especially if you haven't had a business before, or, you know, you have no skin in the game, is difficult. It's hard. And don't get me wrong, trust me, I know it takes time. I have been there, and you really have to teach yourself and get used to it. But once you do, being more strategic and intentional will become easier, and it will become more natural the more you have practice and the more you do it. So next on the list is actually a statistic that I think every blogger should know. And this is going to sound really discouraging, and it's not meant to be, but, you know, I hope that if you know this will be in the back of your mind at all times. Only 20% really make it past their first year and see some sort of success, whether that they turn into a small blog business, or, you know, are on the more macro scale of blogging and they earn 6 figures with their blog. And I really hope that if you're watching this, you don't become a part of that statistic where you are part of the 80%, because, you know, a lot of people really think going into blogging is easy, and oh, I'm gonna make money, and oh, like, you know, it's nothing. They make it look so easy, you know, and that's not the reality of it. And that's why most people give up within their first year. But I'm here to tell you, let you know that it's not easy, and you gotta push through and be patient, and you don't know when you'll see success or the results that you want. So it's really important to really, you know, put in time, effort, and really give it your all. So next on the list is consistency. Is really important, and it's something that you need if you want to really build an audience and get consistent blog traffic to your website or to your blog. And consistency means setting a schedule and planning out your blog posts to where, you know, oh, I'm gonna post once a week on Tuesday, or once every 2 weeks on Tuesday, or once a month even. As long as you find some consistency and time to carve out in order to write and edit and publish content, you will be ahead of the game. You will be ahead of a lot of people that have started, because I understand that, you know, people get distracted by life. Life is busy. Life, you know, things come up, things happen, and I completely understand that. It's a lot to balance, you know, and sometimes you just have to make some things a priority and push some things to the back burner if you can. And that will be different for each person, what they make priority and push to the back burner. For example, if you have kids, and kids are always your number one and first priority in a family. However, if you don't, maybe, you know, instead of going out with your friends every week, and you stay inside for an extra day or two in order to write and publish content, you know? Sometimes you have to miss out on the fun in order to get where you need to be. And that's just the reality of it, you know? And doesn't mean that will last forever. Being consistent for 6 months can put you years ahead of people who aren't being consistent for 6 months. So just keep that in mind. It's important to work smarter, not harder. Next on the list is you can absolutely choose the wrong niche. And I know there's pretty much demand for everything if you type it and search it. However, you know, when it comes to demand for certain niches, for some niches, the demand is way higher for that niche than another niche. So it's really important to keep that in mind and to really do your research, to really see what blog niches are in demand and are doing good and helping bloggers get successful. However, you also want to keep a balance of not only finding a blog niche that is in demand, but also writing and finding something that you like to write about and produce content for and really enjoy helping people with. So you don't just want to do it all for the money and all for the blog traffic and views. You want to have some happiness and fun in it for yourself too. So just keep that in mind, because that's really important. Because if you don't find something that you are happy with, then you will be miserable and you will be more likely to burn out faster and more often. So if you hear noise in the back, that is my heat just turned on, and I live in an old house, so it's super loud. So just ignore that. And if you made it this far, thank you so much for watching. But on to my next point, and that is you need to engage with your audience. And first starting out, you may think this is not important because you're like, what audience do I have, Tosh? Like, However, if it's just, even if it's just 1 or 2 people, you want to build relationships and establish rapport and really, you know, get information from the people that are leaving comments on your post or sharing your post and that subscribe to your email list. It's really important that you really take time to focus on them and to really, you know, figure out what those people want from you, because chances are that is what your larger audience is going to want from you as well. And you know, the bigger your audience gets, the more important engaging with your audience becomes, because this can really steer you in the right direction, and this can really help you create content that people want and need, and that helps you sell products in the future. So it's really important to really get to know your audience and establish those relationships and be genuine and really try to help them and really get to know them, and you will be ahead of a lot of people once you do that, because a lot of people don't engage with their audience and that, or build relationships. The next thing is don't focus and don't try to take on too much stuff at one time, because once you do this, you will get burnt out quicker and you will just be miserable. So like I said before, although you will be taking on multiple roles as a new blogger, it's important to only focus on what you can and not to take everything on at once, because people tend to put a lot on their plates and this is because they're impatient and can't really, you know, take time to get through the process. But trust me, The process is going to be what helps you and what makes you succeed at this or not. And it's really important that you really take your time and really master one skill at a time so you can become an expert and you can eventually help people and be genuine about adding value to people's lives. And this is another thing people look past, and you know, it's unfortunate, but this is just a part of you becoming a blogger, and not just a blogger, but a great blogger at that. So next on the list is, well, it's different for different states. Your blog isn't a business until it gets recognized by the IRS as a business and you're earning a certain amount a month and you are earning consistent, stable income. And that's important to know for, legal reasons, tax reasons, and you really need to get up to date on that in your state because it varies, like I said. And once your blog starts earning consistent income or income in general, and you're not sure, even if it's just $20, and check in with a lawyer or find information about taxes and the IRS where you live at, because you don't want to get in trouble legally with your blog because you are not educated and you are not informed about what qualifies as a business according to the IRS. I'm not a lawyer, I'm not into legal stuff, so I will not give you advice on that, and it's important for you to, reach out to people who are experts and to get that information, and just keep that in mind as well, because if you start earning money and you haven't been paying the IRS and you think you're doing good and then one day they come for you, that can potentially be the end of your business. So just keep that in mind. So if I haven't scared you away from becoming a blogger, I will link a video at the end of this one that gives you detailed step-by-step instructions on how to start your blog. And I really hope you take that leap and put all your fears aside and really take that jump. But anyway, thank you guys so much for watching. Don't forget to watch the video at the end of this video, and I will see you guys later. Bye.